Hey, everybody, guess what? We're live. It's Monday, and we're so excited because we're going to talk about something that's coming up this fall that unfortunately we had to miss last year with a whole lot of other things, Pilgrimage Festival. I have Brandt Wood with us. How's it going today?
It's great. It's great. Thank you. Glad to be here, Donna.
Yeah, so I'm so excited. Listen, I was just at an event at Harlansdale Farm this past weekend called Bourbon and Bubbles Fest, and I think people are ready. I think they're ready to be back on the farm. There was lots of people there having a good time. So I think that's just an introduction to get us ready for pilgrimage.
Sure. Yeah, I was glad they did well. I just landed in from Texas, where I live, and went over to the site, went over to City Hall to visit with our friends. And I'm here at our office in downtown Franklin for an operations meeting with all of our team, where we spend 2 days drilling on details of A to Z. And I'm glad to report that ticket sales are very robust. In fact, the best we've seen in our 7 years. And we liken that to, the pilgrimage sort of roots have grown nice and deep in terms of the experience and the knowledge we have of how to program and deliver the whole experience at a high level. And then I think it's pent-up demand for obvious reasons. The last year was sort of lost in so many things, the culture piece and music, maybe one of the biggest. So sort of a responsibility we have to bring the healing power of music back in a big way. And so I think that has kind of conspired to make people excited, just like you're saying. And I feel like we're lucky that it's in September, where the health climate continues to improve. People can buy tickets now and get excited about it and get to know the bands. And maybe there's some favorites on there. Maybe there's some bands that they haven't seen before.
Right. You mentioned ticket sales are going fast. So let's talk about that, because the tier 1 is completely sold out. Is that correct?
That's right. A festival's price kind of on a sort of a demand type of scale where you reward the early birds, and then it costs a little bit more if you wait. And so we burn through inventory in tier 1, and now we're at $209 for the weekend, which ends up being, if you were to price it by the hour, you would, with 3 or 4 bands an hour, you would be looking at something minuscule for seeing so much music. So hopefully that's not prohibitive. However, if people wanted to buy the ticket in payments, you can break it into 3 payments if you want. So that's kind of trying to give everybody a reason to come.
Yeah, that's new for this year, right?
We've done it before, but it's interesting. A lot of people are choosing that for whatever reason. The VIP tickets are selling very well. We will sell out. That's kind of good news. That's not just marketing. It's at this rate, we'll go clean. And that's great for the festival. It's great for people to all feel comfortable to come and commune together at the farm, and we'll be ready.
Yeah. Is that on track for most events to sell out like this, like have such an expansive ticket sale so early like this?
Yes. Yeah. Some of the bigger festivals, ACL sold out, Bonnaroo sold out, Outside Lands sold out. These are massive regional festivals that have 60, 70, 80,000 people a day, and some are over 2 weekends, and they just went boom. So I think you're seeing the after effect of COVID, and the bands. One thing in the few live shows I've seen recently, the bands are kind of like on a 10x adrenaline, wanting to deliver and be back in front of a crowd. So I think people can look forward to seeing these bands really kind of doubling down on the experience and rewarding people for coming. I'm super fired up to see like Cage the Elephant already as a high energy band. It's going to be intense.
Yeah, let's talk. You mentioned Cage the Elephant, so let's talk about the lineup. Dave Matthews Band. They were on the bill a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, they were part of that year that we had a little bit of weather. So I'm excited we got to bring them back.
Yeah, in fact, this is Dave Matthews Band. 2 years ago, it was 3 years ago, it was Tim Reynolds and Dave.
Oh, that's right.
And his guitarist. So that was going to be kind of a stripped down set on Gold Record Road. This year, he's headlining Midnight Sun on Sunday night, and it's going to be it's the closer. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Any other bands you're excited about? The lineup's always good. I think sometimes people first hear it, I'm not sure what they're expecting, and they're kind of like, I don't know, but I think it grows on them, it seems like. Because then you hear people come around, I feel like.
I'm sorry, ask that again.
Tell me about the rest of the lineup.
Yeah,
Who are
of
you
course.
excited to see?
Maren Morris is going to be incredible. She's just, such a hot star right now. You've got,
and she's not traveling at all this year. So
no. And in fact, there's plenty of our bands that are not out on tour per se, but we're lucky like where we are. Bands can sleep in their own bed if they live in Franklin or Nashville. So yeah, we've got the Black Keys. I mean, that's an incredible, just powerful blues band and rock band that we did have Dan Auerbach a few years ago in 2016 with his band, the Arcs. So this is his second return with his big band. They just dropped a record, Delta Cream, really good blues record. And in fact, they did some of the work with Robert Finley, who's also on the bill. He's from Eunice, Louisiana, and just a great blues player. We've got Tank and the Bangas, New Orleans band, very cool. We've got Valerie June. We've got Amos Lee. We've got Tanya Tucker. I always have to get that right.
She's a local. She's great. I've always seen her in person. She's amazing. Everybody's
Black
gonna love her.
Pumas are amazing. We've got Houndmouth, Better Than Ezra.
Yeah.
We've got Larry Fleet, Morgan Wade, Katie Pruitt. I'm reading the poster right now across the room. And a bunch of other really good bands. I mean, it's going to be a pretty epic year for Pilgrimage and for the town of Franklin. Will
there be any other announcements that we haven't heard yet?
We do have 5 or 6 more bands we're adding, and we are, then at various times we release, say, the kids stage lineup and some of the cool things that are going to be going on in the kids world. We will be releasing our food and beverage lineup, the Maker Village, 60 or 70 makers. So we sort of have these intervals of information that we kind of blow out, on a monthly basis up until the big weekend.
Wow. All right. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more about it. You guys, please go get your tickets. They're going fast. You heard it from the guy right here. He says they're going fast.
Thanks to everyone who's bought a ticket. Thanks for those who want to buy a ticket. We promise to deliver a fun, safe, vibrant festival. Kids 10 and under get in free. The VIP tickets, if you want to sort of take it to the next level, are something you'll never forget. I want to thank the town of Franklin for working so, studiously with us and for just giving us the confidence and the great support. The road's under construction, so pay close attention to the parking information that we're going to disseminate over the summer with regards to remote lots and sort of different ways to avoid traffic. And come early, stay late, have a good time.
Yeah, talk about staying late. You've got a little extended hours this year on one night.
We did. The city worked with us on extending Saturday's hours to 10 o'clock. So that's a big deal. More darkness, more, the light show and just the value, frankly, of getting another hour and a half. That means some great extra rock and roll.
Yeah. I had noticed that you already have the merch available. There's some merch on sale. I'm wearing one of my shirts. I think I have a shirt from every year, all 7 years somewhere. And
awesome.
So I can attest they are very good shirts. You got to get one.
Thank you, Donna. That's a good merch plug. Yeah, so you can get some of our early bird 2021 merch line on the drop down nav bar on the website.
Yeah, you guys go check it out. Start wearing your shirts now, so people will ask you, what is Pilgrimage, right? Isn't that the whole point?
Of course. Absolutely.
So what is it like for you before we leave? What is it like? You made it to 7 years. I mean, I know there were some struggles. There were some weather issues last year. I'm sure with COVID, you were like, oh my goodness. And now it's happening.
It's amazing. It's been like in a split second and a century all in one. They say storms make good sailors. And I think that is apropos. We have had great years and we've had challenging years. We've had to go and rebuild the festival, financially and in ways that you don't expect to, because you think you're just going to sail into the sunset. But we each time we emerge stronger and more capable. Our team is the best it's ever been. Our lineup is super, super strong, shows our commitment to kind of a diverse, just array of artists and musical types and folks. I feel fortunate. I get to get out of bed every morning and think about how to produce a music festival. And it's a joy and a dream, and sharing it with people and being able to, share the passion of music and to try to deliver them a great experience really makes it worth all the effort and the toil and the years. And, we can control a lot of things, but the variable of weather is something that almost makes it more important to have a good weather year. You just sort of bask in that, that the universe's energy is just kind of glowing on you. And, if people remember from year one, it rained for half. And the band, Weezer was just playing even harder.
They didn't even stop. I was there.
It was epic. I mean, it was like, wow. So if we can handle those types of challenges, it just makes us better producers. So
at least it stopped that first year. It didn't continue like, a few years ago.
Oh yeah. And we learned a lot of things in that little deluge. But the reason we had to cancel in 2018 was lightning, and the threat to life is real. We will always err on that side of public safety. And it wasn't a popular decision, but we know that we just simply won't compromise for the safety of our crowd. And we learned a lot of things from that experience. The poor folks that had to work lost and found for backpacks for the next few days had one of the most harrowing jobs I've ever seen, because people were still kind of a little steamed about it, for missing out. Not that, a lot of people supported us, frankly.
Right.
But it was, it was the proverbial blank show.
Well, hey, I just want to say thank you guys for putting this on. It's great to say that your own city has its own festival. And there's been some amazing milestones in the last 7 years. Willie Nelson singing On the Road Again at Harlansdale Farm. How can you ever forget that? Chris Stapleton.
It's amazing to think about those epic moments. Even Jimmy Cliff, year one, the famous Jamaican, performer from Woodstock, put a setup that I'll never forget. Dr. John, who's not with us anymore, playing in the arena. Charles Bradley, who's not with us anymore, played a great set. And I would never forget him going into his changing booth on stage and coming out with something even flashier and wilder than he went in there with. Steven Tyler, who we asked, his tour manager, hey, slip in any Aerosmith songs. And the guy's like, I'm not telling you the set list. Just, be happy you got him last minute, which we did. And he played 9 Aerosmith songs and one, what was the name of his band? Something Mary.
Loving Mary, I think it was.
Yeah. And he had a young band, and he'd been in town working on his record, Loving Mary. Yeah. And so we didn't really know. We were just glad to have a legend. And he came out and he ripped an entire set of Aerosmith. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We should come back and just talk about all the big moments of pilgrimage. We could talk for a long time about that.
I think it's fun to go down memory lane, even Hall & Oates, and Beck. And Casey Musgraves, if people remember, she came out in Woody's girlfriend, Toy Story,
the big hat.
I ask people to go to YouTube and look up Casey Musgrave Pilgrimage. You will be treated, and look at Crazy. It's a Gnarls Barkley incredible song, and she crushes it. And she's got her little outfit on and her hat, and it's kind of spectacular. I will admit, I snuck into the line of super fans getting their picture taken with her, pulled off my credentials and my radio, and just kind of goobered out for a little bit.
Okay, so I didn't think you would do that. So you're a fan as well. Okay, that makes me feel better.
How could you not be? Wow.
Because sometimes when you're walking around, you pass the artist, because there's only certain ways to get to the stage. So sometimes you occasionally pass them, and you're like, you try not to freak out, and you're like, oh, did I just walk by?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, I could tell stories all day about it. If anybody wants to ask me or Liz here at the office any questions, you can direct message us on the Pilgrimage Facebook, Instagram, Twitter accounts, and we're pretty responsive. There's also frequently asked questions, and we're going to just be here going at it. We do have some, as I mentioned, there's a half a dozen more bands we're going to put on the bill. And then, of course, food, beverage, a lot of cool sponsor activations. Our Americana Music Triangle tent, where we have municipalities from Muscle Shoals and Clarksdale and Tupelo and great music cities all come into the tent and set up, kind of their, invitation to visit these beautiful little towns. And it's our way of supporting the music roots and trying to, take our 25,000 fans and turn them on to these special little places. Maybe they'll go there one day. And then, of course, Mike Wolf builds out the stage, and it's really, kind of a magic experience. This year, like last year, we'll be doing Sunday service. So there'll be a nice faith-based opening Sunday. And that was super popular. So I was glad we could kind of show that we understand, the Franklin community and what's important to them. And so that was us trying to, just sort of kind of, take all the stakeholders of faith and deliver something at the festival. Maybe skip church that day.
Yeah, come to Pilgrimage.
Or come to worship at Pilgrimage.
Have church at Pilgrimage.
Beer and some bands.
Yeah. Hey, it's a great event. If you guys listen, if this doesn't get you to buy a ticket, I don't know what will. You just heard all these things. Don't have your fear of missing out, because look at all these things you just told everybody that they could have seen if they haven't been yet. So here we go. This is your chance, because I know there's new people moving here all the time. Somebody just asked a question, what will be done on Franklin Road in the construction zone? You said you're working on that as far as parking and traffic, right?
We are. We'll still have the pedestrian lane from town to Harlansdale. At this point in time, and the reason we're not selling parking passes is that we won't be parking the south lot. So that means the remote lots become more important. You do get a parking spot with a VIP ticket, but otherwise, the city, out of an abundance of caution, wants to not have people turning right onto Franklin Road as for egress. Because we're not sure what the meander is for the pedestrian. So we just want to be super safe. That said, ride share, carpool, park in town, ride a bike, walk. Pilgrimage sort of has the luxury. Sometimes it kind of comes back to bite us that the parking can get a little bit delayed on the egress, but we have more parking than most festivals. Most festivals don't have any parking.
Right.
You get there how you get there.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to kind of walk or bike. Really, it's just easy and it's close.
Yeah.
Soon, sidewalks, a bridge over the river, and then
we'll be golden.
That is high cotton right there.
We'll be golden. See, and then we can say, remember when we didn't have all that, right? One more thing we could add to our list. Hey, thanks for joining us this afternoon, telling us more about that. Maybe we can check in with you later as we get more updates. Anytime. And talk about Pilgrimage. I'm so excited. Yes, someone said thank you for giving all this information. So we'll check with you later.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.